Welcome, dads. It's the first of the month and time for another Raising a Modern Day Knight Dad Challenge. Today we have a really good one for you, one that fits right into this crucial election season that's before us. Now, before I share it, let me again remind you how crucial you are to the life of your son. This last Father's Day, I was on the Mike Huckabee Show. Mike's been a good friend of mine for years and a great dad. Before the show, Mike made a comment to me that every dad from time to time needs to hear. He said, "Love to a child is spelled T-I-M-E." That's so true. So Dad, take a moment and look at your pace and busyness. Is it swallowing up time with your son? It's so easy to let your relationship with him get lost under a mountain of to-dos. It's what older dads confess to me all the time that they did, with great regret. So don't let that happen to you. Find time, make time, carve out time to be with your son. He'll love you for it. His life will be better for it. And one day, he'll bless you for it. For your son, time with you is spelled L-O-V-E. Now here's your dad challenge. Since we're only a month away from selecting a new president, let's bring your son in on it. Here are two ways you can do that. First, find a time where you can sit down with your son and discuss this upcoming election. Ask him what he knows about it and the two presidential candidates. After he answers, briefly tell him about each candidate from your perspective, the parties they represent, and generally what they want to do for America. Then tell him how important an election is to everybody and how the people we elect to run our government are given power to make decisions that will affect how we live our lives. Things like how fast we can drive our cars, or what schools we can go to, or how many policemen are hired to protect us, and what laws we will have to obey. That's what elected people do. They are given power to control part of our lives. That's why who we elect is so important. Then tell your son that God tells us to pray for those we have elected. Open a Bible to 1 Timothy 2 and read him verses 1 and 2. The Message offers a particularly good translation. The Apostle Paul says there, "The first thing I want you to do is pray. Pray especially for your rulers and for their governments to rule well." After reading these verses, take a moment and pray with your son for our elected leaders. Then pray for this upcoming election, that God would guide our country to elect the best president for America. Then pray that God would lead you to vote for the right man to be president. Second, I want to challenge you as a dad to take your son with you on November 6th to vote. Make this a special outing for him. Before you go, show him a sample ballot and how you vote. Then, if allowed, take him with you into the voting booth and let him watch you cast your ballot. Afterwards, take him out for a special treat, like ice cream, and tell him again that voting is an important responsibility for every American. We get to decide by voting who will lead us. Many countries in the world don't have that privilege. Tell him when he grows up, he should always vote. It's what keeps America a strong country. You might conclude this special outing by praying with him again, that God would bless this election in our nation. So Dad, are you ready to take this Dad Challenge? Then hit the Dad Challenge button after this video, and when it appears, review it and choose Accept. If you would rather create your own Dad Challenge, then do so. If you need good ideas to help you, then go to our Big Wins page and review what other dads have done with their sons. What's important is for you to invest in your son every month in a way that blesses his life, because that's the path to becoming a great dad, and that's the key to raising a modern day knight.